Hey there, welcome to the short and sweet guide to Bible prophecy. This is Michael Dant with Adventist World Radio. Today I'm sharing with you from Bergamo, Italy. Bergamo is just a short distance north and east of Milan. It nestles right up against the Bergamo Alps and currently has a population of only 120,000 people. The city of Bergamo is divided into two parts. The old city is called the Città Alta, or Upper City, which you see behind me. This is part of the ancient city that was founded by a Celtic tribe known as the Cenomani, and is completely surrounded by Venetian walls dating back to the 16th century. The lower city is the modern Bergamo, where most people now live and go about their business. Many cities in Italy were severely bombed during World War II, but Bergamo was mostly spared. This makes the city a great place to see archaeological and historical sites and buildings that are still intact and in good condition. Today, in our short and sweet guide to Bible prophecy, let's take a look at one of the most fascinating and exciting Bible prophecies. And as we do so, we will look at the question, how can I trust Bible prophecy? Welcome to the short and sweet guide to Bible prophecy. Travel the world with me as we explore together life-changing prophecies from God's holy word. Last time we saw that there are very good reasons for our faith in the Bible. The Bible was miraculously written and protected by God over a span of thousands of years. Its historical events, people, and places are continually being proven accurate by history and archaeology. And when we experience the Bible for ourselves, it affects us supernaturally. It meets our real needs, even in the modern world. These are all great reasons to have real confidence in God's Word. But today, as I promised, we will look at another powerful foundation for our faith in the Bible, the prophecy of Daniel chapter 2. About 600 years before Christ was born, a Babylonian king named Nebuchadnezzar had an extraordinary dream. Unfortunately, the next morning he couldn't remember it. Determined to get it back, the king called in his wise men from all across the kingdom. He called the magicians, the astrologers, the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans. Then he commanded them to do something that no king had ever asked before. He said, "Tell me what I dreamt last night." Astonished, the poor wise men fearfully replied, "There is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, lord, nor ruler that asked such a thing of any magician or astrologer or Chaldean." Daniel 2:10. What these supposedly wise men said was actually true. No one on earth could do what the king demanded. No human being could possibly tell him what he dreamt or even what it meant. But God could. God is the one who gave him the dream, and God is the only one who could remind the king of the dream and teach him its meaning. The king, however, was unreasonably furious at the wise men and ordered that they all be killed. One of these wise men who did not make that first meeting with the king was God's prophet Daniel. Daniel was a Hebrew captive who had been brought to Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar and now served as one of the king's many advisors. So going to the king, Daniel asked for a one-night delay in his death sentence so that he could pray to God and learn what the king had dreamt and what it meant. That night, God answered Daniel's prayer of faith and revealed everything to him. The next morning, Daniel proclaimed to the king, "The secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days." Daniel 2:27-28. It turns out that King Nebuchadnezzar has seen in his sleep a snapshot of the future. He saw in his dream the major kingdoms of the earth that would come and go over the next 2,500 years. These kingdoms were represented by a giant statue made of various metals. Here's how Daniel described it to the king. "Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet, and were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, and no place was found for them. and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. Daniel 2:31-35. Wow, what a spectacle. Can you imagine it? No wonder the king was so profoundly affected by this dream. But Daniel doesn't stop there. Now he gives Nebuchadnezzar the interpretation. Thou art this head of gold, and after thee shall rise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Daniel 2:38-44. So here's the scoop, Nebuchadnezzar. This is what the future of earth will look like. There will be 4 major kingdoms represented by gold, silver, bronze, and iron. And then there will be a large number of smaller kingdoms, some weak, some strong, represented by the feet and 10 toes made of iron and clay. After that, God will come and destroy all the kingdoms of the earth and set up a world-filling kingdom that will stand forever. In incredible detail, God prophesied what would happen hundreds and even thousands of years after Nebuchadnezzar was dead and buried. And what are these kingdoms that God predicted would come after Babylon? The Bible names 2 of them in Daniel 8, but even without the Bible, we can easily discover them just by looking at history. History tells us that the dual kingdom of the Medes and the Persians, symbolized by the 2 arms of silver, defeated the Babylonian kingdom in 539 BC. After that, Greece, symbolized by the thighs of bronze, dominated the then-known world until their defeat by Rome around 168 BC. God perfectly predicted the 4 major kingdoms of the then-known world from the time of Babylon all the way to the time of Rome. But the prophecy does not stop there. Rome lasted until around 476 AD, when it was attacked and divided into smaller kingdoms by the 10 barbarian tribes of Western Europe. God prophesied that after this division, a single worldwide kingdom would never again rise on earth, other than his own. Since that time, many have tried to unite the kingdoms of Europe, but none have succeeded. Charles V tried and failed. Napoleon tried again and failed. Hitler and Stalin have tried and failed. When war didn't work, they tried intermarriage. Again, they failed. God predicted that these kingdoms would never again unite into a single superpower, and it turns out God really knows what he's talking about. Perhaps the most intriguing part of this snapshot into the future is that little stone that was cut out without hands, smashed the statue to pieces, and became a great mountain, filling the whole earth. At some point, after the time of the divided kingdoms of Europe, the time that you and I are now living in, the God of heaven will return to earth and set up his kingdom. He will overcome all the other kingdoms and will rule supreme on this earth. Earth will once again be like heaven. We see another glimpse of this great day when God will set up his kingdom in the prophetic book of Revelation, where John proclaims, "And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is among men, and he will dwell among them. And they shall be his people, and God himself shall be among them. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will no longer be any death. There will no longer be any mourning, or crying, or pain. The first things have passed away." Revelation 21:3-4. What a wonderful time that will be. You know, these prophecies in Daniel Revelation remind me of a bumper sticker I once saw. It proclaimed, "I know the future. God wins." I don't know about you, but I want to be a citizen of that incredible kingdom that God will set up. And according to the Bible, I can be, and so can you. But more about that later. Getting back to today's question, how can we trust Bible prophecy? The answer is that by looking at prophecies such as this one in Daniel 2, and recognizing how fully and accurately God predicts the future, we can have confidence that the Bible is inspired by an all-knowing God who loves us and wants to prepare us to be part of his eternal kingdom. During this series, we will look at several other amazing prophecies that, like this one in Daniel 2, were fulfilled down to the smallest detail. In our next episode, we will look at some ominous Bible prophecies about Earth's near future. What is going to happen on Earth just before God sets up His kingdom? How can we recognize that His coming is soon? How can we prepare? But until then, don't forget to keep enjoying God's Word. It was written for you. The Lord has important things to say, so don't forget to read His messages. In fact, I encourage you this week to read the first 6 chapters in the book of Daniel. In these chapters, you will find the prophecy we just looked at, along with some fun stories about how Daniel came to Babylon, the fiery furnace that refused to burn Daniel's friends, how the haughty king Nebuchadnezzar was humbled by God, the mysterious handwriting on the wall in the palace of King Belshazzar, and the always exciting story of Daniel and the lion's den. May the Lord richly bless you and your family this week as you grow closer to Him through His holy word. Well, that was fun. Did you learn anything new? I hope so. In fact, if you have any questions, comments, or prayer requests, just text them to the number on your screen. Use the same number to request your free Points to Ponder handout for this video as well. Also, I'll be back with another adventure in Bible prophecy, so just click the next episode button and buckle your seatbelt. Thank you for watching this short and sweet guide to Bible prophecy series, and may the Lord richly bless you today.